In 1979, the largest television audience for an NCAA basketball game occurred because of the rivalry between Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. In this episode today, we're going to look at 3 special cards in my card collection related to Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, and that rivalry.
Rivalries are born, but they never die. Rivalries live on. The names and the stories may change, but the feeling remains. What mattered so much then matters now. Rivalries never die.
In this episode today, we're going to look at 3 special cards. We've got Magic Johnson 1981 Topps. I have this one in a PSA 9. You're going to have to forgive me. I'm getting used to this adjustment with the cameras. But I adore this card. Recently acquired this card in graded form. I just felt that with the recent Magic Johnson, Larry Bird videos that have come out, and Apple TV had a Magic Johnson biography, and he was featured in it. There was the HBO Plus series that came out that talks about the rivalry, and I thought that would put some energy into the basketball card hobby, particularly with these cards. It turns out that it hasn't done too much, and that's mainly because COVID made things rise so high that things have to come down. And so we are having an adjustment, but I still think this is an amazing investment because this is not his rookie card, as we will see in a second, because I do have that one as a little surprise. But this is the first card where he's featured by himself with the card in 1981 the next year. And of course, not to be outdone, I had to get the Larry Bird version of that. In 1981, Larry Bird was drafted first. He was drafted in 1978. He came out of college first. Actually did not come out of college yet. Made the decision when he was drafted to stay in college for that final year, probably because he expected that he was going to take Indiana State to the championship, which he did, but unfortunately he ended up losing to Magic Johnson. However, it was an amazing game. Take a look at some of these highlights.
Perhaps we've never seen a final game with 2 greater individual players than Larry Bird, the Player of the Year from Indiana State, and the Magic Man from East Lansing, Irvin Johnson.
You know, a lot of people were surprised yesterday, Larry, when you mentioned that you played ball with Magic Johnson in the World Invitational Tournament.
Well, you know, me and Magic played together in that game, and, you know, it's funny because Magic's such a great passer, but he wouldn't give me the ball. And, you know, and I need the ball.
Well, I hope he don't think I'm going to pass it to him tonight either, but I thought I passed him the ball. Maybe he forgot it. Or
Rebound Johnson. Magic Johnson with the ball. Oh, he scores! And he is fouled. Look at Irvin Magic Johnson. 4 minutes gone. Bird. Oh, what a shooter.
Having a Bob Heaton is not a guard. He can play guard and play forward.
Bird inside to score. College basketball's Player of the Year, Larry Bird, has 6 points.
They don't give Magic Johnson a ball until he gets into the offensive end of the court.
Johnson from closer scores. Got a break.
You take the foul line all the way to the side of the court. Here's the foul.
Bird tips it in. Larry Bird using that left hand. Remember, he has a broken left thumb on that left hand. 18-12, Michigan State with the ball and the lead. Magic Johnson from 15, and he loves to hit that backboard. The secondary players are not hitting that perimeter shot. Oh, Bird!
Great play by Bird.
And he saves it.
That was an alley-oop pass almost, trying to get it into Kelson.
There's that man-to-man out of bounds again, Al. Bird with a block. Heaton can't save it.
The state scores here. Indiana has to call a timeout.
And Magic Johnson hanging and hitting a 12-footer. Anytime Larry Bird touches it, there's about 3 people in this area. Bird left alone. He's automatic.
Little over 5 minutes left to go for the half.
Kelser off to Johnson, wide open. Kelser has become the assist man. Rebound Charles. Johnson, 3-on-1.
Here it comes.
The alley-oop to Greg Kelser. And he gets it back. Keys it to Bird. Bird. Oh! Here comes your Mo. Johnson maneuvering. Hits the little easy 5-footer. Something Johnny Heathcote just has to do. Bird. 52-46 in Indiana State. 7-point Spartan lead. Trying to run out that clock now. And here goes Johnson. And the foul is on number 30 of Indiana State, Bob Heaton. He can't believe it.
Good backdoor move. Had it spread out fairly well. And everybody expected Johnson to come to the ball. Goes backdoor. Here he is. Heaton waiting on him when we get back to that call.
21 points for Magic Johnson, a 4-point play. And Michigan State has an 11-point lead. Bird hits a short leg.
Boy, a lot of heart out here in the part of both of these ball clubs right now. That was almost the kind of shot he beat Arkansas with.
Gilbert inside. Great play by Johnson. He stole the ball. The Magic Man pulled out the rabbit. Well, that Reed has hit 3 looks.
Oh, there's the pass.
Look at Johnson.
Go!
It's all over. Michigan State University, national champions, 1979. They chant that cry on every campus in every sport. Everyone wants to be number one, but only one can make it. And Larry Bird, a great star, congratulates the victors.
Dick, I enjoyed working with you and Billy. Same here, gang.
Urban Johnson leads his Michigan State team to the final score, 75-64.
As you can see, the audience that watched, myself included, a 10-year-old, almost 10-year-old me, watched that on television just because all the hype was around. And we were so pleased here in Los Angeles when Magic Johnson was drafted and became a Laker. When I was a kid, we used to play basketball in the driveways of my various friends. We had these hoops. And at the time, I would always be Norm Nixon, maybe Lou Hudson. I don't know why we weren't. I don't remember anyone wanted to be Kareem. But when Magic came in, yeah, there'd still be the Norm Nixon and there'd be the Lou Hudson that first year. I'm not sure Lou was still there, but Sweet Lou, he loved his shot. And definitely Silk, Jamal Wilkes, with that little behind the head thing that he used to do. We used to try and emulate that. But man, we were so enthralled with Magic Johnson. And so here is the actual rookie card. But I'll tell you that even though I got it for a pretty penny, I'm still in the black with it. I haven't lost any money on it. But this is a long-term play for me. This is a must-have card for any collection as far as I'm concerned, if you like basketball at all. But if you like sports history, because it is so amazing that not only is Larry Bird and Magic Johnson immortalized on this card, but because it includes Hall of Famer Julius Erving, Dr. J. Talk about him another time. I do have his rookie card, but in a PSA 5, one of my favorite cards of all time. But this is definitely one of my personal favorites that goes to my heart, that I think would go to yours if you had it. I'm so glad that I own it, and I think that it is incredibly undervalued. During the COVID period, this card was actually had raised up as much above $10,000. I think there was a sale for over $12,000, if memory serves, believe it or not. And I thought the sky's the limit, and I was real happy to have owned it, and I didn't sell it. I could have sold it and sold it for 600% on my original investment. Right now it's back down. I think the recent sales are in the high 3,000s. It's still an amazing card, but believe it or not, at that price, I would say still that this card is an absolute bargain. Finally, I think we're going to close this video with a look at the initial year, that first year of their matchups. I think they had 2 matchups that first season that they were together. But you'll learn about how they, of course, along with Michael Jordan, and of course with David Stern, who was the new young commissioner who had a lot of bright ideas, but really his brightest idea was just to give a lot of attention to Magic, Bird, and of course Jordan when he showed up in 1984, I think, some 4 or 5 years later. But when you look at these highlights, you can see that the game that exists today, the NBA, every single player that is rising up, that is playing well, I'm thinking about the LeBron James, the John Morants, the Jason Tatums, et cetera, they owe a huge debt to these guys. And that's why I think as far as card collecting goes with basketball, there is no doubt in my mind that owning a card like this is pretty much, imagine if there was a baseball card that had Babe Ruth on it and Lou Gehrig, and those were considered the rookie cards for those two. It's iconic. It'd be, the sky's the limit in terms of investment, but for me, my heart is in this card, and I don't think I'll be the one to sell it, even if it went to 6 figures. I think that'll have to be my son or hopefully my grandkids. We'll see about that. So we're going to go out with you taking a look at a brief snippet from Nonstop Sports, and a link will be in the description below so you can see the entire video if you like, of the greatest rivalry, as they say in sports history. That's debatable, but this certainly was a great one. Thank you for watching, and we'll see more of my collection very soon. See you later.
By the end of the 70s, the NBA was in big trouble. TV ratings were down, attendance was low, and there was very little buzz around the league and its players. Out of the top 10 most watched basketball games in the 70s, 9 were college games, and tape delays were the norm for the NBA. Drugs were a big issue, the level of basketball wasn't that great, and fights between players happened on the regular. The overall image of the league was terrible, sponsorships were hard to come by, and the league nearly collapsed by the end of the 70s. However, when Bird and Magic came to the NBA in 1979, they brought the hype that surrounded them in college. They both made the All-Star team as rookies and transformed their teams into title contenders. The Celtics improved their win total by 32 games from the year before Bird and finished first in the Eastern Conference. Magic's Lakers were first in the West, and the teams were destined to clash in the finals. But the Sixers spoiled another Bird and Magic duel. On the morning of the deciding Game 6 of the finals, the news came that Larry Bird won Rookie of the Year with 63 votes compared to just 3 votes for the second-place Johnson. Magic was pissed, and he'd go on to pour 42 points and 15 rebounds in the deciding Game 6, bringing Los Angeles their first title after 8 years and securing the Finals MVP trophy. When he saw that Magic won another title, Bird was furious, and that's just who these guys were and how they behaved, envious of each other's accomplishments and maniacally driven to elevate their play. Whenever the season schedule came out, I would circle the 2 games with Boston. Those were the 2 games more important than the other 80, Magic Johnson said. I read the newspaper every day during the season. I was only interested in one thing. What numbers did Magic Johnson have last night? Said Larry Bird. In 1981, Bird won his maiden title with the Celtics, and in 1982, Magic won another one with the Lakers. After that, the league was essentially Bird and Magic, and then everybody else.